Architecture should be light, fluid, and spiritual. I'm Architect Karan Anand, introducing you to Season 4, Episode 3 of Moñö Architecture, All Things Designed. Brought to you by brand partners Highbeck, Kitchen Studio, Embellish, and Turquoise. Today we have came about.
So, as a practice, we've always practiced across the scales. So, be it master planning, architecture, interior design, furniture design, because I think design has to be scalable, and I think the beauty of design is when you can explore it across different scales. So, we always used to do these furniture pieces for our clients for their projects, and the exploration always was how do we kind of get the same ideas of architecture, the same functional ideas where we explore materiality and technology, and how do we translate that into furniture design, and does it really solve the same purpose as it does in architecture, as the optimization is happening in architecture, does it really do that? So I think that started, the journey of that exploration is what led to this, and a big part of the research that we also do parallel research. So a big part of research that we do is how do we reuse these construction materials, because as you would know, India's construction industry produces a truckload of waste. I mean, it is so much waste and none of it gets reused, none of it usually goes to the landfill. So the idea was how do we reuse these materials and how do we explore it in a way that where it sort of translates to an architectural scale later on. So every time we keep on scaling up to a certain extent, but we also translated that into outdoor functional pieces so that we could use those pieces. B, it would also be a financial avenue to fund more research. And the idea is always how to make these very versatile, very multifunctional, but also kind of spaces that people have not explored before. I mean, those sort of forms you don't really see.
You don't.
Yeah. So, and also Indian materials like terrazzo, China mosaic, those IPS, those sort of materials are very rooted in India's weather. It's something that doesn't degenerate over time. The degeneration is very slow compared to other materials. So how do we use older construction material? How do we make it into these? Because this is something that you can generate from that. So I think the end exploration of all of, not the end, but like the current exploration of all of this is these sort of, we are also calling it not so polys.
I saw that, That's what gave me the idea of bringing up Shumi in the intro. So listen, but the shape, right? The form of the space. I'm not even getting into the contextual nature of it, but just the form of it. There are so many references out there right now, you know, most studios or students or whoever, they go on Pinterest and they take a reference and then you kind of replicate it or add a few tweaks to it. But with this, there is no reference. It is absolutely unique and it's a very pure concept and it's unheard of in today's day and age with access to everything. Like just as my own practice, just talking about it, like, you know, I design something and then the next day someone's like, oh, is this your image on Pinterest? And I'm like, no. But what you've done is so unique. So what was the ideation and conceptualization behind getting something
I think it's just the same, like kind of micro scale of our architecture. Because if you see our architecture and interior design explorations, they are also pretty much the same. It's something that comes organically to me. Maybe, I don't know, it's a weird part of the brain or whatever, but it comes organically. And of course, that's not the only portion of it, but also the forms are very rooted in anthropometric proportions. It is how we were not meant to sit like this. We were meant to kind of, sit on more curved surfaces. We were meant to walk on different terrains. So the idea sort of comes from that. And it's also pieces, I think, maybe comes from a little bit of laziness in myself, where all the pieces are kind of loungy. So you kind of sleep, you sit, you relax. So most of the pieces are very loungy. They are pieces which encourage conversation. They are pieces which encourage interaction. Because as a country as well, we are very, very interactive. We all live in like multi-generational families. We all have like a lot of community activities, a lot of social community. So it's meant to kind of create spaces where people can sit together, have a conversation. That's different lovely. Aged people can use it in different ways.
That's lovely. Also, you spoke about sustainability, right? So I think it's a very, very overused word, especially from where we come from, right?
Yeah.
To kind of sell a product, everyone's like, oh, I'm sustainable. But people don't really understand the ideation and concept of it. Like, just as an example, I mean, if I'm using bamboo in Bombay, it's not sustainable because it leaves a carbon footprint that's coming all the way from, say, 5 states away in a tempo. Whereas you, on the other hand, have a very defined, clear visual of what sustainability is, and you use it effectively in your products. So could you address our audiences and tell them about how to understand sustainability and how you as a practice follow that principle and the importance of it?
I think sustainability is something that I don't know if people have really grasped the idea, or it's just there is so much conversation about. There is sustainability. I would call this grassroots sustainability. Yeah. It's sustainability that which I feel like can be multiplied on a tier 2, tier 3 city base as well, where we don't have so much access to technology. It is something that your local carpenter can do, your local mason can do, your civil contractor can do. So we tried to find out solutions where we could integrate the local community. So that's how kind of it becomes a little more cyclic, where you have your community integration, where you have the local materials integration. But I think saying that, I think sustainability is such a broad spectrum thing, and I think we are still exploring so many aspects of it. Sustainability on a larger scale looks very different. So I'd say this is grassroots sustainability. I think this is our effort to kind of do as much as we can. But yeah, I think as a whole, it's a still unexplored territory.
Thank you so much for the lovely answer. Also, let's go back a little in time and talk about how you started your practice, what HSC was all about, what your education was like, and what led you into doing what you're doing today. Because I feel that's really, really important for everyone watching, because it's a very difficult journey, to set up a practice and then sustain it, pun intended, for such a long period of time, with family and multiple issues that happen. So could you?
When I was younger, I think architecture was never in the purview of things that I wanted. I was 100% sure I wanted to be a dentist, which is polar opposite of what I'm doing right now. I was like, because I wanted to be a doctor, but I did not have the dedication to study that much, so I thought...
None of us did, yeah. Even I wanted to be a doctor. My dad was a pediatrician, so I was like, maybe banunga.
I think all Indian kids are like doctors.
And engineering.
Yeah, doctors and engineering. But yeah, I wanted to be a dentist, but I think over the time I realized that I don't think this is a good idea to explore, and just kind of in the exploration of things, my mom suggested, why don't you, try architecture? It's just, it was that casual. And then I think I tried out like those pre-architecture classes that used to be there. The Nata classes. I think that was my like very brief introduction to architecture, very quick introduction to architecture. And once I sort of got into that, I was like 100% sure that this is for me. But yeah, it came kind of later on. But so I did my undergrad in Vidyanagar, and then I did my postgrad in UK, Sheffield. I think both had its own pros and cons, but I think Sheffield sort of broadened kind of the vision of how I used to think as well. I mean, India has really good professors, But at that time, I think the professors over there were able to kind of let you be yourself, I think, which is very important in college. Let you be yourself, let you go crazy with your explorations a lot more than we had over here. I had a really good professor as well in Vidyanagar, but over there I think there was, and then the journey started from there. I came back, I worked with Sameep Podora.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize it. I
Yeah.
about it, but I forgot to ask you about that. Yeah.
So I think that
SPA.
also, SPA, and that also taught me so much. I think the way that he thinks is, it's I think beyond amazing. I think to reach there, it's just, but yeah. So learning from there, and then when I started the practice, at the start of the practice, I sometimes still reflect and feel like at the start of the practice, I had this, I think I would almost call it naive or stupid confidence that why can't I do it? This is possible. So the first initial projects are just this unabashed exploration, and I would keep on getting this feedback from contractors like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to take this up? And I thought, why are you even asking me this? Now I get it, after all these years, now I get it, why they had these kind of conversations. But at that time, and then I think that helped. Even to the clients, I was able to kind of communicate that so confidently because I didn't have that understanding only, that this is not possible. So I think that is the reason the first few projects had crazy explorations, and that sort of set the foundation for
what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's really lovely because a lot of practices, a lot of designers, when we graduate, I'm saying we because I've been in that same situation, you come out and you're like, I'm going to take over the world, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. In fact, a couple of my projects were like that. And then suddenly you get a reality check because clients are like, what are you doing? And then you get lazy.
Yeah.
You are like, let me work for the money. And then it just gets into you get into a rut, and then it's so difficult to come back to your creative kind of inflow. So that's lovely. Thank you for that input. Also, when you speak about architecture and studying in SPA and all of these experiences, I think what I've noticed, I don't know how true it is, but you're heavily into model making, like actual hand-done models, right? And this is a practice that me or a lot of my friends, colleagues, we did it at the onset of our practice, but suddenly it just disappears into thin air. No one makes models anymore. You're doing it. I think it's actually inspired me to start doing it myself, and it's again not it's not a very common practice anymore. And I want to address this, and I want you to talk about it and tell everybody about the importance of it and how it makes a difference in creating aesthetically or structure, whatever you're creating. How do you do it?
So I think model making has always been an integral part of it. I don't know if it's because the kind of explorations that we do, or it's just it's probably because that's the way we sort of practiced architecture. But the whole process is sort of back and forth. So especially when we also start with sketches. We start with sketches, then we model it, we make models. But I think when you make models or when you do the space in a third dimension, there is that essence that sort of comes into it when you are visually seeing it that is lost on the computer. Even when you are generating visuals, even when you're generating 3Ds, or maybe I think it's just an old school thing, I'm not really sure what it is, what part of it is it. But I think models also help, even in our furniture practice, models also help a lot in terms of exploring the exact anthropometrics, in terms of seeing how people will interact on this space, in terms of imagining that space in that specific context. And the architectural practice as well, where if I talk about a recent healthcare project, even the curves, to modulate the curves, we made so many models because it was brick curves, and we had made this load-bearing brick wall, so it had to have like a very proper structure in itself. It had to have a sturdy structure without adding any additional members. So a lot of these explorations are better made in models, and it's a back and forth process. Like the very first or second project where we've done this outhouse and we've done this like sinuous structure in between which houses everything, was literally, I had that idea when we were traveling, and I think I made the whole 3D model of it in the train. So that's, I mean, so
in a train.
Yeah. So on the train journey from, I think, Seville to Barcelona or something, and drafted the whole 3D model in that. But obviously, so once that is done, I think the explorations start in the models as well. So it's a back and forth process, but I think models are integral to imagine the space in 3D.
Anyway, so before we continue, I wanna play a small game with you to lighten the conversation a bit. It's a quiz, okay? So I'm gonna quiz you, and if you get 6 questions right out of the 11, you get a hamper from our brands.
Wow,
if
okay.
not, I get it. Right? Right, Turquoise? I get the hamper. Okay, so now we're gonna do a quiz round, alright, to break the seriousness of your very intense conversation.
So if I get it right, you will have a shot.
Everybody comes and threatens me, yeah. Anyway, okay, done. I'm gonna ask you 11 questions. If you get 6 correct, you get a hamper from our brand, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna start. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'll start with the easy question. I'm putting you under the gun now. If you don't get it, you'll be like,
This is kind of
okay.
hard.
Which color system uses numeric codes to ensure color accuracy globally? I have options, okay? CMYK, RGB, Pantone, RAL.
CMYK?
No. Pantone. I got this one right, huh? I got this one right.
So, okay.
You don't need to have the whole thing, you can just like sip on
Yeah.
it, it's cool. Otherwise you're going to be like on edge for the entire...
Jittery the whole day.
Okay. Which Italian city is known for its terracotta tiles and Renaissance urban planning? Milan, Venice, Florence, Rome.
Venice.
No, Florence, yeah.
How is this one wrong?
Okay. What does the word charrette mean in architecture, schools and studios? Wall color study, intense design session, scale model, lighting plan.
I have no idea what this is.
Guess. I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's basically something that is verbal.
Intense design discussions.
Yes. Okay.
So that's your problem.
Wow, I helped you. And, chalo,
Yes.
theek hai, I'll do it. I should not volunteer. Okay. Which country inspired the HIG concept in interior design? I'm sure I pronounced it wrong. I'm sure, but Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland.
Denmark. Is this hedge? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, hedge. So Sweden. Sorry.
No, it's Norway. Isn't it Norway? It's
Yeah.
Norway, right? Yeah, it's Norway.
IKEA is Norway. I'm just getting all of them
No,
wrong.
IKEA is not Norway. IKEA is Sweden.
But hedge is...
Hedge is Norwegian. What is a tatami? Oh yeah, short. Sorry. Okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
Okay, short. I like how my team
I
is
think
like short to पीना पड़ेगा.
11 सारे.
हमने मेहनत किया है, बनाया है, short लो. Okay. What is a tatami and how does it influence Japanese spatial layout? Okay, so you just tell me what is a tatami.
Okay.
Wall pattern, ceiling pattern, mat used as flooring, and lantern style.
Can you give me a clue?
It's basically something that goes on the floor.
Mat used as flooring.
Guys, don't put my clue into this, okay?
Because
Because my clue is literally the answer. Okay, so what design principle is defined as tension, lighting, structural defect, balance between contrasting elements?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Which design movement featured bold geometry, Memphis patterns, and irony? Distilge, Bauhaus, Memphis Group.
Memphis group. This one is good.
The answer
Please
is
make all the
literally-
questions like this.
I read this and I'm like, the answer. Okay. What does a double loaded corridor refer to in floor plans? Corridor with double width, hallway with rooms on both sides, corridor with glass walls, 2 entrances per room.
Hallway with
Correct.
rooms.
With rooms on both sides, yes. You're doing well now. You've just got 2 wrong, I think. What do the initials BIM, B-I-M, stand for in modern architectural practice? Basic interior mapping, building in motion, building information modeling, blueprint integrated modeling.
Building information modeling.
Nice. You don't want to know what I said.
That was the only easy one, and the Memphis one.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
yeah.
Those two are the only easy questions.
No, double loaded corridor. That's not a bad. I didn't get that also. What pigment made from lapis lazuli was once more valuable than gold? Cobalt blue, indigo, ultramarine blue, Egyptian blue.
Ultramarine blue?
Yes, nice. This was supposed to be the first question. I put it right at the back because when I saw this, I was like, how am I going to ask the names only? Who designed the super studio grid-like futuristic concept in the 1970s? Rem Koolhaas, Philippe Starck, Natalini and Toraldo di Francia, or Herzog and de Meuron? I was just like, I gave up only.
I have no clue.
Yeah, it's Natalina. Yeah. Oh, you got it right though. We'll give you half a point for that. Okay. Which architect is known for the theory of critical regionalism? Zumthor. Sorry, I'll say the full name. Peter Zumthor, Kenneth Frampton, Frank Gehry, Norman Foster.
What was the question again?
Which architect is known for the theory of critical regionalism? Zumthor, Frampton, Gehry, Foster.
Frampton.
Yes. Nice. We're done. You got most of them right.
This was I think this was like way worse than, we used to have this ragging from our college seniors who would ask this general knowledge question and we knew nothing, and I felt like worse than that.
But you killed it. I was waiting for an architect to come on the show so I can ask some fun questions. So well done. You have clearly got more than 6 questions right. So our brand partners Turquoise have a lovely hamper for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have, thank you for those wonderful guesses. You've won.
Yes.
They were difficult questions. I was panicking when I was reading those questions. Anyway, so coming back to our conversation, I'd like to talk about your architectural practice and a project you completed recently, House of Dynamic Sunlight. So could you walk us through how the creative process of that went about and some elements of the house and all of that?
So that project was a residence for a couple and their children in Ahmedabad. And it was a small residence, 5,000 square feet, but we wanted to make sure that we elevate their lifestyle along with giving them design which fit their budget, which fit the climate conditions. We wanted to make sure that we elevate their lifestyle. We make sure that their spaces are such that it sort of serves them every day. So we've designed this sort of, the whole house we've designed around this central court space where so in Indian families, especially multi-generational families, the main interactive space, if you see, is the dining area because that's where everyone comes together, has conversations. So we've taken that as the focal space and we've given them this large double height space which has like a cascading facade in front of it, which has this long faceted facade and has this beautiful north light coming through. So the whole facade was designed in a way with a lot of radiation calculations, solar calculations, sun path calculations in such a way that all the facets bring in the light in a way that there is never too much sun glare in the space, but there is always soft sunlight in the space. So while they are sitting in this dining area, while they are interacting, the whole sort of space is bathed in sunlight throughout the whole day, anytime that they're there, morning to evening. And it creates this beautiful shadows along with and then we've given them a moving staircase just along that whole space where all of the rooms sort of look into it. So it's not just an interactive space, but it's also sort of connecting all the floors because we gave them separate floors for privacy so that the kids can also grow into these spaces. So it sort of is designed around this whole thing, and all of that we kind of, in each and every project we bring in this radiation calculations, we bring in solar calculations, we bring in wind calculations. All of this is to make sure that the climate around you is serving you and you're not just creating this sort of curtains or you're not creating kind of, you're not blocking out the climate, you're sort of bringing it in the houses while not creating large glass facades, you're still creating these spaces.
Okay, and thank you for that extremely intense answer. Tell me, what is a moving staircase?
Moving staircase, so it's not actually moving, but sort of what I mean is a staircase which is not just the same sort of, it kind of moves through the plans. So it's not exactly moving, it's not the right connotation for
that's
it.
why I asked you to explain it once, because if someone's watching, they probably assume that
they
your staircase...
think it's a kinetic staircase. No, not. I would love to do that Harry Potter
so
sort
cool.
of.
Oh,
that would be damn cool. But I think not that, but just sort of moves through the floors in a way that it opens into every space.
Also, another thing that, also, you know, when we look at your projects, and it's very, very evident that you take site context, materiality, sun path diagrams that you spoke about, wind paths, all of these things into consideration before building your structures. And this is not something that a lot of designers do anymore. It takes me back to a time when I was in college and we would say study Nari Gandhi or Charles Correa, and they would keep going on about, you know, how the structure is not half as important as the contextuality of where you're building. And now you just see glass blocks all over the place and there is no understanding or ideation of it. You make it sound very simple, but it takes deep knowledge and deep commitment to the cause to do it. So tell us about why you do it and how young designers or even older designers must kind of integrate this into their designs to grow.
I think to start with, every space that is designed can't be just multiplied anywhere else. I think that concept of architecture is sort of timeless, has been through any of the architectural movements or art movements that you see. There is an element of rooted in time along with being timeless. So to be rooted in time, you also need to be rooted in the context or the climate that you have. So if I just give an example, a current project that we are doing, it's situated in the middle of the city. It's in such a tight space where there are buildings all around it, but we need it to have views. It's a 7-floor building and it needs to have views to have like a healthy space inside. It needs to have views. So how do you kind of circumventilate? You can just sit and say that, oh, it's not possible. We are living in that tight space. But then I think it's a very interesting challenge when something like this comes up. So I mean, that's sort of where the integration of climate or context, I think I'm diverging a little bit, but that's where the integration of climate context comes in, because it sort of looks like a challenge that we need to address every single time, and it's also what makes that space livable. At the end of the day, we are making these spaces for our clients to have the maximum functional use as possible, to have the space to kind of serve them for the longest time possible, and that's sort of the end goal or the end happiness. So to try and make a space which has so much of rootedness or climate considerations to it, I think that sort of adds on to it. And I do think a lot of architects are working on that. I do think that there are so many architects. I think there are people who are doing it way better than us, way better than me. And then there are some senior architects who have done it so good. I mean, to reach that is also a huge... So I think the people are working on that, and I think that is an integral part of architecture as well. I mean, architecture, along with technology, along with everything, architecture still has to be serving the clients.
Yeah, and also I think that if the architecture does not reflect it, the interior space will never reflect it either, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there's only that much that you can do in the interior space.
Yeah.
But when you create all of those elements in architecture, it just changes the entire fundamental internal space, which is so important. Actually, it reminded me of college when, again, going back, like, you know, when we used to make our models and drawings, and I had this faculty who looked at my courtyard, right? Said, lovely design, everything is fine. And he just looked at me and he's like, where's your north? And I was like, what do you mean where's the north? It's such a nice design. He's like, sun kidhar se aa raha hai, sun kidhar se ja raha hai. And my courtyard ended up being in a place where there was no shadow. Like, it was like the 12 o'clock sun. And so, I mean, these are things that kind of get in, like, become a part of who you are. And I keep asking you these questions because a lot of us have forgotten it, you know, and it's something that I feel like as an architect or as a designer, even if you're an interior designer, whatever you're doing, I think that it's very, very important to kind of focus on it and come back to it and understand materiality and contextual nature of spaces. Also talking about materiality, you have a tryst with some of the most beautiful materials that you use on in your projects. So give us an example of something you use in a project or why you use certain types of materials.
we do try and use a lot of natural materials
Yes, I've
in
seen,
most of our projects. So it is natural materials are not just sort of Italian marbles, but a lot of Kota stone, a lot of Kadapa. I love those rustic Indian materials that are not so glamorous, but also they are so beautiful, kind of you can modulate them in such beautiful spaces. And I think a lot of people are also using that, but there is also an attempt to use materials in a different way. So that is, I think that materiality is an ongoing process, and there isn't one material, but I think metal is so beautiful. There is so many ways that you can use it.
That was a project we featured in Moñö as well, right?
Yeah.
Crazy, that project.
Yes, yes. That ceiling was...
Yeah,
it was
the parametric ceiling.
And it was so difficult to make it. I think so many iterations, so many things that went wrong behind the scenes also, and then so many things that we had to correct. But I think, I think materials, even I love using something as simple as like glass blocks, but how do you use glass blocks in a little different way?
So, talking about your project, right, I want to talk about your tryst with materiality. You use some of the most beautiful materials in really innovative ways. Sometimes even the most simplest of materials are used so uniquely. So, could you tell us a little bit about how you do this and how you achieve it? I'm getting all your trade secrets.
Yeah, so I think we love using simple natural materials, a lot of natural materials, lot of Kota, a lot of Kadapa, lot of materials like brick, terrazzo, metal. Metal is absolutely beautiful. You can use it in so many ways, like the metal ceiling that we recently did, and that had so many kind of iterations and back and forth and a lot of mistakes on site. But I think those materials are so malleable and they can be used in so many multiple ways. They're so versatile, and simple Indian materials which are not that expensive, the beauty of that is so much. I mean, using it in different ways, the beauty of that is so good. And also like they're durable. They're way more durable than anything else, right? So Kota, Kadapa, I think Kadapa is one material that I absolutely love. It's there in our office, it's there in our like multiple spaces that we have designed.
How do you use it? Like on tabletops and all of that?
No, so just flooring, but also flooring with a lot of inlay. So in our office itself, we've made like this flooring with inlay of glass doors. So we got glass doors from a site, they were going to throw it away, so we got that. On the floor, we have inlays of glass doors with Kadapa. I mean, it's so beautiful because nothing has happened to it. 8 years, 9 years, nothing has happened to it. We've not done any finish. We've not done any sort of, no leather finish, no nothing. I think those are just, they're great.
As is.
They're great, but as is, the material is so beautiful because whatever you do, nothing happens. I mean, the glass doors, we made it such that you can use it to cut models. On the floor, wow. So, I mean, I think that sort of...
how much we got yelled at for those cutter marks.
Exactly. And then on the tables, you put glass on the table, etc. This is so much easier. On the floor, you're making
and it's much more comfortable to work
it's
on
much
the floor
more
because you always want to sit down and work.
Exactly. So, I think using materials in a little different way, like terrazzo is a flooring material, but we use on furniture.
What would we put newspaper right below on the floor when in college?
Yeah, and those mats.
The
green mats.
Those green mats, or newspaper.
Newspapers, green mats. We used to get glass pieces from everywhere and do that.
Yeah,
a lot of different ways. Yeah, but I think materials have beautiful stories to tell.
That's beautiful. Also, you have been an educator for many years of your practicing career. So tell us about how that has been for you insightfully. Did it help you become a better practitioner? What was your journey through that?
Yeah, I think it taught me a lot of patience.
Yeah.
But jokes apart, I think education does have a lot of interaction, right? You're meeting young people, you're meeting other educators also, and you're gaining a lot of perspectives, and you're getting to meet a lot of different people from the field that you would not necessarily meet otherwise or commercially. And I think there's a lot of nice back and forth to that. Of course, it takes so much time away from the practice that it's not sustainable to do it for a longer time. But I think getting into education has its own like charm. Getting to be like a student, not like a student, we can't be that, but getting to interact with students and knowing their there are some students who are so brilliant. They have such different perspectives from what we think like. So I think it's a great
learning experience as well.
Great learning experience. And great learning into patience also.
Yeah.
To deal with
this is the unadulterated version of our actual conversation. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the beautiful answers. Before we call it a wrap, we're going to play rapid fire.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I hope the questions are easier this time.
Yeah, these are simple. These are simple. Okay. So now we're going to play a rapid fire. All right. So, you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Favorite spatial experience: temple, gallery, or courtyard?